I legit had like no control when it came to how much I was eating. I did not feel that I was skinny enough to recover my relationship with food. And this is when the body dysmorphia really started to kick in. What is up, guys? Welcome back to my channel. My name is Richa Anurag. I actually wanted to make a video about the whole concept of body image. I've kind of mentioned about my whole, like a little bit of snippets here and there in previous videos about body image and something that I've dealt with for a good amount of time, that a lot of people do struggle with body image. Without further ado, let us get into it. I would start off by saying that in general, I never really cared too much about how I looked like when I was younger. I didn't care at all. I was honestly just like a happy-go-lucky kid who just, you know, loved to eat. Growing up, I never really cared too much about how I looked. It was more of just like, I was always just about having a good time. But then I think when I was around 12 to 13 was when I started to, like, you know, the beautiful phase of puberty started to hit. And you know, you start seeing a lot of changes in your body, and also your weight mainly fluctuates more than anything. So I started to really fluctuate a lot in my weight when I became a teenager. And it was something that, again, I didn't know was happening, but I definitely started to feel a lot of comparisons started to creep into my mind and my thoughts. 2nd grade through 5th grade, I actually went to an all-girl private school. We all wore uniforms. My whole point of bringing that up was basically I never really felt like there was any sort of comparison amongst us girls because we were all wearing the exact same thing. So there really was no room for comparing like style and like clothes and stuff like that. And then more than anything, around 13, I joined a season of cross country for 1 season. And I did not like that at all. I literally only did it because a friend of mine convinced me to do it. It legit turned into just me hating all of the practices, hating doing all of the drills. I really just did not like it at all. I just did not view physical fitness or anything like that in a positive light, or sports in general. And that was actually something that I really was super like mad about, the fact that I just didn't enjoy being like athletic. I didn't enjoy sports or doing anything like that. Because I didn't enjoy it, I was always just super mad. I was eating a lot because of the way that I cope with stress, and the amount of stress that I was dealing with in middle school and a little bit of high school was through just eating. And when you're eating and when you're not moving a lot, I gained a lot of weight during that time. And the insecurities of just how I was just not enjoying sports and physical activity was when that creeped into my life. And then I would say when I really started to compare my body was freshman and sophomore year of high school. It was the first time I actually ever liked a guy. I started to ask actually around like who are like some of the girls that he actually kind of likes. These are all rumors, by the way. They were all super slim, super tall. They were all athletic, all had abs, and I legit did not fit any of that criteria. Really insecure because I just did not look like them. It wasn't until I think my sophomore year of high school, it was when I was at my heaviest weight. It was just a time in my life where I was just at a big time low. I had no ambition at all. I went to a very academically competitive high school, doing these very hard classes because you're judged based off how many like honor classes that you take. I know a lot of people can relate to that as well. And I didn't have any goal for me. I felt like I was doing all of this to prove other people wrong, or I felt like I need to get into a really good college in order to impress family or friends of mine. And I wasn't doing legit anything for myself. And it wasn't even just in how I was taking care of myself, it was also in my attitude more than anything. I was just ridiculously negative and pessimistic about every situation going on in my life. At the time I was done with my sophomore year of high school, that was when honestly I was like, I'm feeling super lethargic and tired all the time. I should not be feeling like this at all. I asked myself this simple question. I think I've talked about this in a previous video. What is it that I should be doing that I am not currently doing? And the answer was legit right there. I was not taking care of myself at all, always negative, simply just needed to do something for myself, because I then had realized, and I hope that people realize this too, is that the only person who really will fight the hardest for your happiness is you. You are the only one who has the control to make your life the best that it can be. I had all the support in the world. Like my parents even would always like say, you're very smart, you were very, very amazing. It doesn't matter how many compliments you're being given. If you're not feeling it, then there's no way that anyone else can make you feel that way. And I legit took matters into my own hands. I started to move my body more, so I started to, go on walks, I started to do a lot of cardio. Like I just found random workouts on YouTube. Legit, I found just a bunch of workout videos on YouTube. I'm a little bit more aware of what I was eating because again, I would just eat my life away. Like I legit had like no control when it came to how much I was eating. Like even when I was like legit full, I would still eat. Like an emptiness inside of me that I felt like just food was the only thing that could overcome it. Within a few months, I started to notice there was a lot of changes happening to my body. And also I started to feel much better. I started to feel really, really good about myself. July of 2019 was when I began my fitness journey. And then around, I would say probably November of 2019 was when I started to really start to see a lot of changes in my body. So I was probably down by, I would say, a good 20 pounds. And a lot of people told me actually to my face, like, Richard, you look very, very different. You look really, really good. And my intention was not to lose weight. I want to make that very clear. My intention was literally to just incorporate fitness into my life and to find portion control when it came to what I was putting into my body. The way I got that was honestly through being more aware of calories and also exercising. And you see a pattern of how much weight you're losing, but then what I didn't realize was that your body becomes comfortable when you have built a habit. In this case, my habit was moving my body more and being more aware of what I was putting into my body. I didn't realize that my body was not used to my body moving now, that it's the weight starts to become more stagnant. It's not going to gradually decrease as it was before because my body is not used to it. But I didn't realize that at the time. And this is when the body dysmorphia really started to kick in. I just lost 20 pounds. And I remember legit that Christmas feeling just incredibly guilty. It was my parents and my brother watching Home Alone, like we do every Christmas. We had pizza and I legit was like crying my eyes out because I was feeling incredibly guilty for eating pizza. And that was when I really started to notice that I had become ultra sensitive about what I was putting into my body. Now it became one extreme of just eating constantly to now being super stickler about certain foods and classifying foods as good and bad, which was very, very dangerous for my self-esteem and my perception of my body. So I remember that January just being even more restrictive than I was before. I would get up very, very early in the morning. This was legit during school hours. Like the school started around like 7 a.m. I didn't come home until possibly like 4 or 5 p.m. I remember doing my workouts at like 4 a.m. in the morning, and if I was ridiculously sore, I would still get up and do ridiculous amounts of cardio, and I would barely put anything in my body, drink a whole lot of water. I would drink maybe like 8 full bottles of water so I can make myself full, and I would just feel very, very dizzy and exhausted. And it was just because I did not feel that I was skinny enough. I just really felt like I was still the weight that I was prior to all of this happening. Even though I legit had lost a good amount of weight and I was feeling much better, I started to notice that my stomach, it reduced a lot, but there was still a little bit of fat there. And I felt that, okay, so I have to lose even more weight now so that stomach fat will go away. But little did I know that even when I was still now losing even more weight, I still had a little bit of belly fat because that's just how my body is. This was actually right during 2020. So this was actually when COVID hit. I was in the thick of just being like ridiculously restrictive. At the time, we didn't know that COVID was gonna be super like what it is like now. All this time now to be at home and work out as much as possible and be as restrictive as possible because I get to control what food goes into our house. Like it was so bad to the point where I lost an extra 20 pounds when I did not need that at all. And I got so slim, you could see the veins coming out of my neck. And also my parents were starting to get very, very concerned. And my brother and my friends, me thinking like, no, I'm just being disciplined. You guys are not gonna knock me off my grind. Around May of 2020, that I got down to a very, very low weight. I remember weighing myself and just feeling exhausted. And I was like, what did I just do? I started to, not be super restricted, give myself a little bit of a break, to spend a lot more time with my family, enjoy food outside of, my comfort zone, recover my relationship with food, enjoying going out with friends. So I still have a very, very long way to go. For me, if I wasn't skinny, then I wasn't worthy enough. We've been taught, I think as girls especially, I think even guys too, when it comes to like being like super muscular and everything like that. Like we've been taught for so long that you have to look a certain way in order for you to be valid. Even when I was at my skinniest and I thought I was at my healthiest, I was actually more sad than I was before all of that was happening. So it may have looked like I was like super fit and in control, but actually I was being so restrictive and I was hurting myself more than I was actually loving myself. Now I actually enjoy foods that I actually do like, and I also like incorporate nutritious foods as well, but I also work out because I actually like to, and I listen to my body. We have to be just more gentle with ourselves. It's important to take care of yourself and to push yourself, but at the same time you don't want to hurt yourself and injure yourself both physically and mentally, because fitness is supposed to be something that makes you feel good. Good because you're taking care of your heart and your soul, and more importantly you're feeling good that you're taking care of your health and your longevity. But unfortunately you're gonna see a bunch of girls and guys who will post a bunch of fitspo. It's so important that we all realize that weight also is not equivalent to health. There's so many layers that go under you living a healthy lifestyle, and a healthy lifestyle is honestly subjective, and that's different for every single person. Every single person has different genetics and different lifestyles. There's no one size fits all when it comes to fitness. My story when it comes to body image. If you're someone who is going through any of that, I think just know that you really are not alone. Everyone is beautiful in their own regard. You are so much more than your body, and it's all about health and longevity more than anything. Surrounding yourself with people who really, really like you for you is super important as well. So again, thank you guys so much for watching. Again, please be gentle with yourselves. If you guys want to talk about it in the comments, please let me know if this video was helpful by giving it a like. That'd be much appreciated. And also subscribe for more. I cannot wait to make more videos for you guys. It really does mean a lot. I see the support actually a lot, and I really do appreciate it. So thank you guys so much, and I will see you guys for the next video. Bye guys.